All right, let's step into a trade review here of ticker symbol TMUS. This is T-Mobile. And if you look at it, you can see that this one did not exactly go our way. Um, and full disclosures, we had three of our signals got triggered today. Two of them were profitable. This one was not. However, I wanted to show you that not every trade is a winner, and we have to be able to manage these losses. And this is a good example of how to do that. So it came up on the scanners the end of yesterday, right here, looking very bearish, set up for a nice move down, maybe just even to that 50 again. But when it came up, the obvious thing to me was right here, and that was this double top. And we'll get it drawn in here right there. We got a really good double top forming, or that has formed. And I felt confident about taking this based off of that because we have a technical level that prices bounced at. Um, Also, we have a chart pattern. So, not always do we end up with a pattern, but sometimes we do, with wedges or double tops, double bottoms, flags, things along those lines. And that's what we had here. Is we had a double top with a really volatile move down on our signal day. And so with that said, I felt confident in taking this trade. Now, what we needed to see was we needed to see price break 132.79, which means right here at the printed price, I needed to see it print 132.78. And if that happened, then we would enter. And it did happen. And it was fairly quickly. We'll check on it into the 1 minute here in just a little bit. But it did break and really didn't give us much profit at all and started bouncing. So the low of today was 132.5, which was exactly 29 cents below our trigger, or 28 technically, below our trigger, or no, 29. Yeah. What was that? Yeah, 28 cents below our trigger. Anyways, it didn't give us much chance for profit. So we'll still do what I'll usually do in these trade reviews, and I'll go over the exit strategies, what we would typically do on a profitable trade, and how it would affect a losing trade like this. So the first way being you're exiting into previous support or resistance, or you begin scaling out into previous support or resistance. Now, for me, really the first one, you could have set anywhere right here or even a little lower. That's what I would have done if I were trading this way. It was probably right there. Would have taken some off and then let the rest ride. So again, when that is your strategy, what I typically recommend is taking the majority of your position off at the first area of support or resistance, which for me, looking at the daily chart was right because of that point right there. It was right here. And it did not make it down to it. Now, we'll get into the exit on the losing in just a second because it's the same as our other exit strategy on profitable trades, which is, once it triggers, enter the trade, set your stop, and then let it run throughout the day. And then you can move your stop as if it were to be profitable, you can move your stop and make your stop tighter so that you are not allowing a winning trade to become a losing trade. With those two exit strategies right here, I would highly recommend that you use the stops that I set in the morning. And if you are a member with Armor Trading Systems and you do participate or you do watch my recommendations in the war room, you'll know that we use the stop that I use. We use it to calculate and to determine our position size. And that lets us always know that if things go south against us, we know exactly how much we're going to lose if it goes really bad. And this one did not go really bad. It didn't work out, but it was not a total loss. So if you were only willing to risk, $500 on this trade, you wouldn't have even really come close to that. You wouldn't have even been at half of it. You would have been at about 30% or so of 500, which is, what's that? I don't know, 50, maybe something like that. $150 loss is what this would have been, and or somewhere around that area. Either way, it turned out to be a losing trade. But the key thing you have to remember is always sticking to your strategy, sticking to the system, and having your stop set in place. We don't want to enter and then just hold and hope. We don't want to enter with our, full account size if that would mean that, a 20-cent move against us is going to really hurt our account. We want to have, or I typically want to have nice big stops to protect me from losing trades and losing more than what I'm willing to. So if you were the type of person who enjoys scalping it, let's see. We needed to see 132.79. Yeah, it did happen pretty early. In that first at 9:32, so within the first couple minutes, in the third minute of the trading day, anyways, it did break. It triggered, and then it dropped down a little bit right here, and you would have been profitable 28.29 cents. But then you got to think about your spread and when you would have actually gotten filled, and it more than likely wouldn't have been worth it, and you probably would have had to take a loss up here or even up here somewhere. That is if you have not gone with the stop that I recommended, and since you're scalping it, you've gone with a tighter stop. Either way, you probably would have gotten stopped out at some point on this trade, and I don't think you would have exited. To each his own. I'm not going to tell you how to exit. It's your money. You do what you feel best with, but more than likely, you would not have been very profitable in this area. The only time that it was profitable was right here, and a little bit later in the day. I was feeling pretty good about it right in here after it started coming this big move all the way back down, and then it just proved strength from there and just continued to rise. So you can probably tell in my voice that I'm not too stressed out about this, even though it was a winning trade. I mean, excuse me, a losing trade. And that is because of having that stop loss and having that, defined risk set in place. And that's what I teach in my Income Genesis course and what I teach in the arsenal and the video library at armortrades.com. It's, any trader can tell you how much they want to make on a trade, but a truly successful and a good trader will tell you how much they're willing to lose if a trade goes completely against them. And this is a good example of that, of having a good stop set in place, which is what we had in the morning. We had already predetermined that, and knowing that, this has got this from here, the trigger point to our stop was a long ways. It's a very long ways up, and I wasn't worried about getting the max loss on this trade because of that. That's just the way it worked out, and I'm fine with this. I can take it. Obviously, nobody likes losing money. Nobody likes losing on a trade, but it's part of the game. It's part of the territory. You just got to accept it and roll with it. And I'm way happier having a small loss and then big winners rather than, flip-flopping around and not being sure. If it goes against me, how much am I going to lose? Am I going to lose a lot or a little? I know exactly how much I'm going to lose, or the max of how much I'm going to lose on each and every trade that I take. So that about wraps this one up. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe this video, and God bless.